what is the mind? Is it just a system of impulses, or is it something tangible?
Relax. What is mind? No matter. What is matter? Never mind.
Thanks, Dad.
Good night, son.
Welcome to the Box Factory. In this video, we will be discussing 5 newer episodes of The Simpsons, which are as good, if not better, than the original canon episodes.
Glad that wasn't us.
Before we start with our list, we should probably explain just why the first 10 or so seasons of The Simpsons were so groundbreaking, laying out the framework for a show that has won dozens of Emmys and is still on the air 34 years after the first episode aired. Before we dive into it, make sure to click like and subscribe to our channel if you love our lists and trivia. Make sure to show some love in the comments section below. There are a few factors that contributed to the success of the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. First, the writing was top-notch. The show was known for its clever humor and clever pop culture references and memorable characters. Next, the voice acting was superb. The cast, which included Dan Castellaneta, Nancy Cartwright, and Yeardley Smith, brought the characters to life with their performances. Add to that, the show was relatable. Despite being set in a fictional world, The Simpsons dealt with relatable themes and topics, such as family dynamics and the challenges of everyday life. The show was groundbreaking. The Simpsons were one of the first animated shows to be treated as a real show, and not just a children's program. This helped to establish it as a cultural phenomenon and paved the way for other animated shows to be taken seriously. So, what changed? There are a few reasons why some people believe that the newer seasons of The Simpsons are not as good as the earlier ones. The writing may not be as strong. Some fans believe that the show's writing has declined in quality over time, leading to less memorable episodes and jokes. Changes in the voice cast. Some fans have noticed changes in the quality of the voice acting, particularly with the departure of some of the original cast members. The show has been on for a long time. The Simpsons has been on the air for over 30 seasons, which is a long time for any show to maintain a high level of quality. It's possible that the show has simply run its course and is no longer able to produce the same level of entertainment as it did in the past. The show has become more formulaic. Some fans believe that the show has become too predictable and relies too heavily on formulaic jokes and storylines. So, taking into consideration that the newer seasons can't hold a candle to the old episodes, much of the original viewership has declined, with the majority of those who still watch being die-hard fans. But, buried in the last 10 seasons, there have been a few gems, episodes so good that you wouldn't be faulted for thinking they came out of sometime in the 90s, if you ignore some of the modern-day references, of course. In order to make this list, each of these episodes has to have been more recent, preferably after season 25, but the impact and overall lesson behind the episode was on par with what we came to expect from the classic Simpsons episodes that aired within the first 10 or so seasons.
Except maybe Gerard Manley Hopkins. I caught this morning's minion, Kingdom of Daylight's Dauphin, dapple dawn-drawn falcon in his riding, of the rolling level underneath him, steady air and striding. High there, how he rung upon the rein of a wimpling wing.
Wow. I've already eaten.
Let's get started. Number 1, Diggs. Diggs is the 12th episode of the 25th season of The Simpsons. In the episode, Bart makes friends with a transfer student named Diggs, an expert in falconry, who saves Bart from the wrath of the Springfield elementary bullies, and who intends to take to the sky himself, which makes Bart worry about Diggs' sanity.
Listen, what happened in that tree?
You want the truth? Of course you do. You're like Diogenes, but with slingshot in place of lamp. I wanted to fly. I know it sounds a little crazy now, but I suddenly thought maybe we can all fly, but somehow we've forgotten that we can.
You don't still think that, do you?
Hey, I'm not flying anywhere with this broken wing.
As Bart spends more and more time with Diggs, he learns about falconry and conducts some mischief around town by teaching Freedom to snatch Springfielders' belongings. One day, Diggs dives from a high tree branch, resulting in his injury and emergency hospitalization. In the hospital, Bart questions what prompted his new friend to act as he did. Diggs explains he wanted to fly, alarming Bart with his idea that maybe all people can fly and don't know this because they don't try it anymore. Bart is told to leave the room by an uncharacteristically sober and blunt-sounding Dr. Hibbert and an unidentified doctor, and overhears that Diggs will transfer over to a mental hospital. Homer and Marge recognize what this means, and Marge clues in Bart that this means Diggs has serious problems and that the mental hospital is not the kind of place a little boy should ever visit. This episode hit us right in the feels because just like the classic Simpsons episodes, it deals with real-life scenarios. In this case, Bart befriending a kid who has mental health issues. We highly recommend checking this episode out, and if you do, see if you can guess who voiced Diggs, and leave a comment below with your answer.
In his ecstasy, then off forth on swing!
Where's my bird going?
Wherever he wants. He's free now.
If you see the stork what brings us babies, kill it!
Number 2, Barthood.
Is the sky blue?
I don't know, just is.
Why are clouds white?
No clue.
Why are people yellow?
It's the way God made them.
Why is grass green?
So you can find your damn golf ball. Now I have a question for you. Why did you leave your toy car on the stairs?
Why is blood red?
Why do you ask?
It's coming out your ear.
This episode, titled Barthood, originally aired in the 27th season, and the episode was produced as a parody of the film Boyhood. Bart's coming-of-age chronicle, told a la the big-screen hit Boyhood, follows him from a 6-year-old to his maturing into an accomplished young man. Along the way, there are glimpses of how his father and sister impacted him more than he could ever realize. The episode deals with some very real-life scenarios, such as financial problems, dating and marriage, and even the death of a loved one. The episode received widespread recognition from critics and viewers alike, with Screen Rant calling it the best episode of the 27th season. Dan Greene was nominated for a Writers Guild of America Award for Outstanding Writing in Animation at the 69th Writers Guild of America Awards for his script to this episode. In my opinion, I would have to say that Barthood was probably the best episode of The Simpsons to air in the past 20 or so seasons, and possibly one of the best episodes ever.
Grandpa, gotta talk to Grandpa. Grandpa, I sure miss you, man. What would you say if you were here right now?
Number 3, Pixelated and Afraid.
My singing again.
Okay, if you see more than one road, we should walk to the one with a sit-down restaurant, because I could really go for a booth.
Oh, no.
In this episode, probably the most recent episode to make this list, originally airing in 2022 in the 34th season. In this episode, Homer and Marge crash their car into a frozen river and end up stranded in the woods. They build a shelter and new clothes but struggle to find food. When they finally catch a fish, a wolverine attacks Homer, but Marge saves him. The next day, they find a ranger and leave the woods, enjoying the sunset at the ranger station. The episode has many ups and downs, but is overall an amazing episode and a must-watch. Pixelated and Afraid was nominated for a 2022 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program. Number 4. Bart Stops to Smell the Roosevelts. This episode aired in the 23rd season and was the first to feature Superintendent Chalmers as the central character.
Hey, this Roosevelt guy was sort of interesting. Did you know he was a colonel in the army?
You don't say.
And one time during a speech, he was shot by a saloon keeper, but Teddy finished his speech before heading to the hospital.
In the episode, Principal Skinner challenges Superintendent Chalmers to take over Bart's education after one of his pranks. Chalmers accepts and starts teaching Bart about Theodore Roosevelt and manliness. After he takes Bart and his friends on an unauthorized field trip, which results in one of the children breaking an arm, Chalmers is fired. Bart and his friends then take over the school in an effort to save his job. Since airing, the episode has received generally positive reviews from television critics, with the guest-directed opening sequence by Crick Falusi receiving the most praise.
Beer! God, I love to watch that woman get beer.
Number 5. How I Wet Your Mother. This episode also aired in the 23rd season. In the episode, a traumatic incident causes Homer to repeatedly wet the bed. As it worsens, his family, with the help of Professor Frink, successfully manage to infiltrate his dreams to get to his subconscious source, a la Inception. As Homer confronts the reason for his bedwetting, he and the family dive deep into his inner psyche, literally, which leads to profound realization through introspection, and also features some pretty awesome scenes, such as this one.
Oh, the machine.
Hayden Childs of the AV Club was positive on the episode, noting that, although it never reaches outright hilarity, How I Wet Your Mother is one of the more interesting episodes of this season. Number 6. The Way of the Dog. Originally airing in the 31st season, in this episode, Santa's little helper bites family matriarch Marge, causing the family to reflect on the difficult life that the dog led prior to being adopted by the family, and they end up reuniting him with his mother to avoid having to euthanize him. The episode includes footage from the series premiere, Simpsons Roasting on an Open Fire.
Wait, Dad, that was the hat I was wearing the night we got Santa's little helper, remember?
Go!
Go, Santa's little helper!
boy!
Come on, get that ready!
Dog war coming up fast on the outside.
Oh, can we keep him, Dad, please?
But he's a loser! He's pathetic! He's...
And critics have praised the episode for its emotional depth and its ability to make the show's past more rich. The attempt to do a serious study of the character of Santa's little helper leads to an episode which is sure to hit you right in the feels. We recommend a box of tissues for this one.
Now what does he want?
Son of a gun.
Where's he going?
To his mother.
Oh, I love happy endings.
He'll be all right now.
Thank you so much.
Did we miss any other great but newer episodes of The Simpsons? Let us know below and check out our previous video discussing 5 times that The Simpsons got away with jokes that we can't believe weren't censored.